And now for more on the opening of Terminal 3, we are being joined by the Civil Aviation Minister, Patel. Mr. Patel, well, congratulations on the fact that operations have actually begun there at Terminal 3. Do you think this particular terminal is one of the biggest achievements that the ministry and all its partners have pulled off yet?
Well, I certainly would feel very happy on today's achievement. The fact is that I don't even look at it as the biggest thing happening to India's aviation. I think it's a redefining moment for India's aviation. All these years, we've only been looking at airports outside of India as hubs for, our own travel. And this will actually make Indian carriers very, very competitive and will actually position them as global carriers.
Well, obviously on day one, though, there was some teething problems, and for example, the radar systems didn't work. I'm not sure how closely those were linked to T3 itself, but there were some problems today.
Well, the terminal per se is, I think, operating fine. I was there yesterday to have a look at it. And I think, well, you see, you must remember that while everything should be okay, there may be some initial teething problems, but that should not really come in the way of classifying T3 as a success or not. All major buildings, you see, there are thousands and thousands of things which have to be tied up together. So that's why we have decided that initially the international operations will start and only a month later will the domestic operations start.
Are you at all worried that there could be a slight dichotomy that keeps on coming up? For example, terminals are absolutely top class, best in the world, but other aspects, radar systems or the area outside or the domestic terminals are not to the same standard. So is there going to be a dichotomy for a while? Some things are world class, some are pretty ordinary.
No, I think let's not overreact to some minor glitches here and there. I think the overall aviation infrastructure, including radars, communication systems and the works, I mean, whatever it takes, is being upgraded to the highest standards, and not just Delhi, but I think airports across the country. You go to the smallest of airports and you will find a sea change there. And it's not just about a good terminal building. ILS systems and all other navigational equipment are all being upgraded. In fact, in this afternoon, we've had a huge meeting on our Council for Civil Aviation Safety, and we have had a lot of things which we've been upgrading, being made public. And I think it's a process. You see, nothing is like complete. It's a dynamic sector. New technologies will come, new challenges will come. And actually, Vikram, the thing is that India has witnessed huge growth in the last 6 years. From being a sleepy sector, it's grown almost 400% in less than 6 years.
Well, I mean, frankly, I have to agree with you on part of that. It's often said that the media only criticizes and never praises. So I guess it does have to be said that India's airports 5, 6, 7 years ago was certainly the worst in the world. Now at least some of them are among the best. Is that a comment which you hear from people coming in from outside as well?
Well, yes, of course. People all across the world acknowledge that India's aviation has made big strides, and even the overall, not just as I said, Delhi alone, but you go to Jaipur, you go to Madurai, you go to Trichy, you go to any airport across the country, things are hugely different than what they were. And remember, it's been a very, very short time since all this has happened. The transformation is taking place in the last just 3 or 4 years. So I think to that extent, it is significant. I do not want to say that all is complete. Of course, there's a long, long way to go, and many, many areas of improvement are still possible. But in a complex structure and in a lot of it in the government domain, I think we have been able to achieve quite well.